Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, I want to thank you for taking the time to join me here on a Sunday morning. Hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are. It's nice and chilly here, but beautiful as always. Anyway, gonna have a really interesting conversation today. I think we're all aware of these beautiful Buddhist monks and their little precious dog Aloka, who are making this pilgrimage for peace. There's 19 of these beautiful monks and the dog. So we're going to talk about that and really the power of what they're doing. And I know we all feel it. And so we're going to try to maybe get integrated a little more into our hearts and understand that maybe we could be more like a Buddhist. And I kind of, the subtitle today is Today We Are All Buddhists. So let's maybe open ourselves up to come from that perspective. Not asking you to change your beliefs or your religion, but get into that Buddhist mind and the beauty of their teachings and how they live. And gonna have this conversation may be a little long, just to let you know, because I've got a lot to share. So Janet, happy Sunday. Good morning to you. And, I hope nobody thought that I was like, what the heck? My title this week is Everybody Loves This, Why? And I have a picture of the monks and the dog. Well, I'm going to tell you why today. And it's there's a big why there and a big yes to the answer, why we do love what's happening. And so I think they're on to something, and I think there's great lessons for all of us to learn from this beautiful gesture of these Buddhists. Before we go there, I just want to remind you that if you have any prayer requests, you can submit those to me. If you want to text me, message me on Facebook, or you can always submit it through my website, charlottemcginnis.com. Click on prayer ministry and it'll take you right there. So, on to the conversation. So this is a long distance pilgrimage. It's been described or titled The Walk for Peace. It's 19 Buddhist monks from a Buddhist center in Fort Worth, Texas. 2,300 miles across 10 states. They started October 26th, and it's expected to take 120 days to complete. Their purpose is to promote peace, compassion, nonviolence, while raising awareness of these values across America and to the world. Along the way, they have been accompanied by that precious dog, Aloka, who's stolen the show, and have garnered significant support from public, especially on social media platforms. That's for sure. But it's much bigger than that. And I'm grateful for social media in that respect, because social media as everything, can be used for ego or holy purposes. We know that. And, there's a lot of fear-based mongering that gets out on social media sometimes. And I choose to either share humor or enlightenment. I don't like to go down rabbit holes of fear, because I know in the heart of my heart that anything I put out that's fear-based, angry, negative, is fueling that which I don't want. So we are going to learn today how these monks have stolen the hearts of America and the world. And they've been coming through North Carolina here. I would have loved to have gone to see them. They weren't too far away, but I didn't. But I felt the energy, and I do feel the energy. And every time I read about them and look at the pictures, I think we can all say, well, you just feel it, right? So let's get this message and let's be more like them. So just that dog is just the cutest. And he was just a stray dog who they adopted, and Aloka, and he certainly garnered even more attention. And then the little pup hurt his foot and had to have surgery. And of course that in itself was like, so the beauty of that, the dog really, although it was maybe not the most pleasant event for the dog, it just enabled all of us to just shower more compassion and love to this precious little pup. And so that's what the world needs, is more sharing of love. So there's Molly. Hey, Molly and Mary, good to see you. So, this is very interesting. It's Aloka is an Indian stray dog, just if you don't know this already, and has become famous, obviously, for this walk for peace. Initially, Aloka was a stray dog navigating the streets of India, but he chose to follow a group of monks on their peaceful pilgrimage for over 100 days. I like this next part of it. And, you know, we can all say, and we're all dog lovers here, I suspect. And, you know, and Molly, I think that this Aloka reminds me of Peaches, your old dog. But anyway, he just brings so much levity, and we all love dogs, and we feel their unconditional presence. And so Aloka's journey highlights themes of loyalty, patience, and the spirit of peace. As he matched the monk's pace through various terrains without seeking attention or shelter, his story resonates with many of us, showcasing the qualities of resilience and compassion that he embodies during his travels. So there's so many layers to this message, and we'll just continue. I'd love your feedback. What are your thoughts about this pilgrimage that these monks have taken? Pipe in, let me know. So yes, this dog has made the story even more powerful. And so it's all just kind of like a spiritual fairy tale. And our earth needs more of this. So that's why I'm choosing to share this. Well, something I was thinking, I think we all agree that the monks in Aloka are a fairly enlightened bunch. I would give them credit for that, and then some. And that being said, it's interesting, I don't see them taking sides. They're not here to make a statement, take sides. They're just here. They're not screaming. They're not pointing fingers. They're not divisive. They're not waving signs, whatever. They're just examples of demonstrating their greatest strength, which is the peace in their hearts and the desire for peace, love, and healing for all of us. And so that to me is their, good morning, Sue, their intended message, and that's the real miracle. Because I feel like that they are embodying the message we talk about and have been talking about for many years now, actually. And the message is to overcome this world, to be able to stay centered in peace, in no matter what's happening, right? That's the mastery. Not take sides. You know, we can have preferences and align with one thought system or another, but we don't do that at sacrificing our peace or the love of others. So it is important, I think, to take this message into our hearts as much as we can. So these monks are walking, it's a living meditation, step by step, mile by mile, heart by heart. The monks are walking not for attention, not for profit, but a reminder of what true peace looks like when it's lived, not just spoken. And so the walk itself is the message, the effort for peace. May all beings be happy. And I think that's so powerful. Again, no pomp and circumstance, no debates, anger. It's just pure peace. And the people that are following these beautiful beings are lining the streets and giving flowers and food. And I want to talk about that for just a second because, you know, I was always a big fan of Peace Pilgrim, and I still am a fan of hers. She was a terrific woman. Good morning, Carol. Happy Sunday. Anyway, the Peace Pilgrim decided, you know, just to get up one day and start walking. And she didn't have any money in her pocket. She just had the clothes on her back and trusted the universe or God to provide all of her needs. And sure enough, this woman walked in faith many, many miles. I can't remember the exact details of the story. Peace Pilgrim, if you want to look her up. But anyway, it was an example of trusting the universe to provide all of our needs. And I think when we're in our divine state of awareness, that we do attract, yeah, Faith, I do too. That we're a magnet for good. So all of this is, I think, a good thing. You know, the world is in turmoil now. There's no question. There's lots of stuff happening. And there's many levels to that, which is not what today's about, so I'm not going to go there. But I think we can all agree, like, ooh, something's up. So, besides that, we're going to be Buddhist today. So, I like this. When the monks leave their monasteries to walk for peace, it's not symbolic, but rather a warning. I don't really like warning. They aren't seeking attention. They're not seeking power. They're just walking because the world is out of balance. If you see them offer food and water, they carry nothing but what's given to them. It's not a protest, it's a prayer in motion. The fact that the Buddhist monks are walking for peace in America should make us pause. This is rare and it matters. So I think that, yes, it is rare and it does matter, but they're examples of everybody likes them, kind of like everybody likes Dolly Parton, you know? It's like, what can you say that's anything but loving and positive towards Dolly and these beautiful beings? Because they just come from love. Love everything, everybody. They see beyond the illusion of duality and separation, and they just come to be love. And that is the secret to awakening from this dream of fear and insanity, because this world is insane, upside down and backwards, and that's all I'm going to say. So back to the Buddhism. So I love this article I read, and I am going to spend a little time on it because it's so, I feel, appropriate to what's happening in the world, and the Buddhist philosophy is really beautiful. And the Course in Miracles and Buddhism are really very much hand in hand in how they believe, the world is an illusion. All of our suffering is from attachment to the illusion, and so on and so forth. But it's a beautiful, beautiful teaching. And every Buddhist that I've known has been wonderful. And we actually have a Buddhist center here in Hendersonville, which is run by a beautiful woman, Panavati, and she's been a real giver to the community for many, many years. So Buddhists have a beautiful philosophy and way of being in the world. So good morning, Dawn. Okay, so why is Buddhism, or why can it be important to the world right now? Well, we're going to talk about that. Right now, our world is filled with anxiety, social division, environmental crises, and the search for meaning. Buddhism offers an ancient yet highly practical insight that is directly applicable to modern life. Its relevance today isn't just spiritual, it's psychological, educational, ethical, and social. So I look at this as psychological, educational, ethical, and social. It's integration of spirit, of love into everything, our psyche, our education, our ethics, and social. So the practices of Buddhism, mindfulness, that does promote good mental health and well-being. The mindfulness is deliberate attention to the present moment. Buddhist mindfulness, the deliberate attention to the present moment, isn't just spiritual. It's scientifically, for those of you that need science and love science, it's a good thing. It's scientifically proven to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression while improving emotional regulation and calmness. Yeah, Buddhists are always pretty chill, if you haven't noticed. That's something we can, I think, all agree on. Recent research shows that mindfulness practices rooted in Buddhist teachings can significantly reduce stress and enhance overall well-being, making them valuable tools in modern healthcare and everyday life. And I think that that's so important too, is, their stress is not good for the body. I think we all know that. We've talked about that for a long time. Happy cells are healthy cells. Peaceful cells are healthy cells. Anxiety and stress can bring pockets of distress to our body. So it is, if we can integrate this into everything, this state of awareness and being, we will naturally become more vibrant and healthy and peaceful. So contemporary neuroscience also supports this. Mindfulness strengthens the neural pathways associated with emotional resilience and self-awareness, helping people cope with daily psychological challenges. Now I always like to share these things, pop in my mind as I'm talking, and you know, for many years you always heard, oh, they have a high IQ, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, this is actually validating the point I'm going to make here, is certainly the IQ, intelligence quotient, is something that we've used as a bar of someone's intelligence, right? So, ooh, they've got a high IQ, they're intelligent. Well, interestingly enough, many people with an extremely high IQ, not all by any means, but many, aren't really successful because they're so intelligent and operating from a different place that they're not grounded and able to really navigate through this world with the rest of us, right? So they come to say that the people who are really most successful by the means of the world, and I would say successful in relationships and work and just managing their lives in peace and so on, are those who have a high emotional intelligence, they call it, EI. And that means that exactly what this says is that when we're in a higher state of emotional intelligence, then we are actually more grounded in the world and able to overcome daily challenges easier. So the next topic here is Buddhism is a framework for understanding and reducing suffering. At the core of Buddhism, there are 4 noble truths, which begin by acknowledging suffering as part of life and teach how desire and attachment contribute to it. Rather than offering superficial optimism, Buddhism offers practical tools to understand the cause of suffering and methods to address that perspective that few modern philosophies explicitly offer. Okay, so I would say that, again, our suffering is attachment. And again, from the Course in Miracles, these 2 teachings being very similar, all my pain is the past or worry about the future. And in presence, there is no pain. And so the more we can get to presence, and one of the best books that I would suggest, if you're interested in learning more, it's an oldie but goodie, is Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Classic, wonderful book. And just shows that how when we're in this presence, which these Buddhists are, step by step, mile by mile, smile by smile, is that they're so present in every step. And if we could take more of that and not be so distracted and plugged into fear and negativity, because right here, right now, it doesn't exist. And the more we stay present in that state of awareness, step by step, not only am I experiencing the benefits of that personally, but the entire world reaps that gift as well, because we're not separate. It's a vibrational world, and everyone benefits by my love or my fear. So which do you want to put out there? What do you want to feed? So, you know, Buddhism has become also a very, they're starting to recognize its value in healing in so many ways, and it's become, I won't say a big movement yet, but I would love for it to be in healthcare and healing. Buddhist principles are being integrated into holistic healthcare, not only physical, but emotional and spiritual care. Some hospitals and therapeutic settings, contemplative care and mindful-based programs support patients in managing stress, chronic pain, and psychological challenges of illness, recognizing true healing involves just more than medical treatment. So that is so true, because if we can manage our emotions and turn that stress down a little bit, and I'm not beating this up. Look, I can stress with the best of them, but I recognize it like, okay, I can shift this. I don't have to stay here. And I'd say I'm a little more aware now of my triggers and stress and this and that, and how to get back to that state that we're talking about. But I'd love to live there 24/7, and I think we all would, right? So, once we recognize really the power of a still mind and connection and letting go of all of our beliefs and our chains and our past and our fear of the future and all of this, and lighten up, the Buddha, the actual Buddha, when you see him, he's got a belly and a smile, right? He's just chubby and happy, and always, and you can just feel that exuding from that, when you see a Buddhist statue, they always make you can't feel mad and look at a Buddhist statue, especially the one where he's just giggling, And the Dalai Lama is a bit like that as well. He's a happy being and giggles a lot. So again, I'm recognizing the power of this more and more. So they're also, bringing meditation into schools, in Asia, and I'm not sure if it was Thailand or exactly where, but they brought 1 million with an M, children together to meditate for world peace. This was, I believe, last year. Can you imagine 1 million people in one area? It's unbelievable. I mean, how do you even do that? But anyway, they did. And these people, I feel, the Buddhists, the Hindus, all religions, we have our prayer ministry, all spiritual paths and religions, do have a means of stillness and prayerfulness and mindfulness. And the more that we would stay in that neighborhood and practice that, then we'll see the effects externally. But if I'm still in that fight or flight battle, right, wrong, good, bad, not going to be able to really see the effects of that. Well, we actually will see the effects because we are. So anyway, but that's another rabbit hole. So they are bringing this into schools and universities, and it helps students to develop patience, compassion, self-awareness, and leading to more healthy educational environments. I mean, this is about integrating on earth as it is in heaven, bringing the belief in separation, just letting that go, and integrating love into everything. And then it just is like a ripple effect. It just goes out and out and out. So, the Buddhist teachings are also very beautiful in building ethics, leadership, and meaningful work. Buddhist ethics are not abstract ideals, as they are being actively applied in leadership and organizational context. Research on Buddhist-inspired leadership highlights how qualities such as compassion and ethical conduct foster meaningful work, strengthens relationships, and workplace well-being. This ethical orientation encourages leaders to prioritize people's dignity, community well-being, and responsible decision-making qualities desperately needed in business and governance today. I always said, wouldn't it be awesome? And of course, being primarily Course in Miracles, but as you know probably by now, I tend to lean towards the Course for my spiritual base, but I feel Christian, but I feel like I'm also everything. I'm a Buddhist today. And whatever it is, whatever your faith or your spiritual religious practice, or if there is none, just understand the science and the power of love and stillness. And the more we do that, I always said, well, wouldn't it be awesome if we could go into with all the world leaders and not go in with a specific, or maybe all religions, I don't know, but just really say, okay, let's all get together. We're all one family under God. We're all God's children. And what decisions can we make that will serve the greater good of all? What if that was the question that they all got together and asked? Not how can I control and manipulate and take this and give that and battle this and make right, make wrong, go to war. But really, it's the answers are here. We've got the answers, and that's the vision I hold. of all of the world leaders, all of those who are in the decision making for all of the humanity. What if the one question they asked is, what can we do that would be, what decisions can we make here together that would serve the greater good of all? Wow, that's my vision for the world. Not how can we win, who's right, who's wrong, and coming from more of a oneness mindset. So as we become more mindful and we deepen our compassion and recognize social responsibility, and Buddhism teaches interconnectedness, reminding that all souls are linked. This understanding obviously encourages empathy, collective responsibility, and ethical action when addressing inequality, environmental degradation, or humanitarian crisis. Engaged Buddhist movements extend this further by applying Buddhist ethics to social justice, human rights, racial equality, environmental protection, and peaceful activism, showing inner practice can lead to compassion and action in the world. So seek first the kingdom, live from that. And when we do that and live from that, you know, let's give it a shot. It's kind of like the old Dr. Phil. Well, how's that working for you? Well, it's kind of like, again, in 12 steps, what do they say? That when you're an addict or compulsive at something, it's your best thinking got you in the mess. And it's not this thinking we're talking about. It's the ego stinking thinking, as they call it. So it's obviously, okay, our stinking thinking is what gets us into this mess individually and collectively. The miracle, choose again. Recognize it. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat anyone else up. It's not about blame, shame. It's just like, there's another way, and I'm willing to give it a shot. So, you know, Buddhism is a practice for a complex world. It says to be kind wherever possible. The Dalai Lama continues to articulate Buddhism was originated 2,500 years ago, and the Dalai Lamas continue to carry that message forth. And what is it? Be kind whenever possible, and guess what? It's always possible. So, in wrapping this part of the talk up, Buddhism matters today, not just as a religion, but as a practical philosophy, psychology, and ethical system. Its teaching helps individuals cope with the internal struggles and provide tools for building healthier communities, more compassionate leaders, and more resilient systems. In a world marked by complexity and uncertainty, Buddhism offers clarity, balance, and compassion. These qualities are needed now more than ever. Now, before I go into the next part of this, so why are people getting all like jazzed about these Buddhists and Aloka? Well, because there's a part of us that knows it's real, and we know the power, and we're witnessing it, and it's an opportunity for us to say, yeah, these judgments and these attacks and everything that we're doing right now really ain't working. So let's give this a shot. I think they're onto something. So, you know, there's Buddhist meditations, and I'm sure if you go to YouTube, you can tap into Buddhist meditations. They have mindfulness breathing. They have loving kindness practice, and it's just affirmations. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May others be safe. May others be peaceful. And others means all others, by the way. I think you all know that. And mindfulness, this is where I could use a little more work, eating without distractions. I think our tray tables in the living room are probably not the most mindful place to eat while we're watching TV, but maybe I'll think about that one. Walking slowly, that like these Buddhists are, every step is mindful, and they're very mindful and present in each step. So when you go on a nature walk, just be present in every step and feel the earth and feel the vibe. And so, you know, when we do these practices, we can start to decompress, eliminate stress, understanding that there is another way to be in the world. If we're getting our emotionally upset or angry, just say, this too shall pass. And it always does. Emotional intelligence, is so powerful. So mindfulness reduces stress, depression, and anxiety. Meditation strengthens the brain, linked to self-control and empathy. Compassion practice increases emotional intelligence. These findings are why Buddhist practices are now in mental health therapy, schools and universities, hospitals, corporate training. And why do we need it now? I think it's obvious, but just in case you didn't. The world is mentally exhausted, yes. People are politically and socially divided. Really? Yeah, yep, check. Consumer culture creates endless dissatisfaction. You can't buy your way, you can't go to Walmart and buy your way out of the suffering. Buddhism directly addresses these issues by teaching awareness instead of distraction, compassion instead of hatred, content instead of greed. And it doesn't come, this is the huge statement at the very end of this part, and it says, peace does not come from changing the world, but understanding the mind. So, seek not to change the world, but change your mind about the world. I've said that more than 1,000 times. And I believe that wholeheartedly. We've been trying to change the world for, depending on where your beliefs are, I would say millions of years. Let's just say 1,000, 2,000, whatever. Long time. It's not working. So this is the way out. That's why we're all so excited. These monks, I love this. They're walking in peace with Aloka, and they ask for nothing. They walk for peace, and we're feeling it. We're literally feeling it. It's 2,300 miles, and they're spreading peace, love, and compassion. So I think we're beginning to understand why everybody is in love with this, because we're feeling it. We actually feel the power of that. I don't see anyone thinking these guys are nutcases, crazy, delusional, anything, pointing fingers. I think everybody, it sort of breaks down our division, and it's like, we're feeling something bigger going on here. And the thing is, that gift is here for all of us. So this is, they ask for nothing. They don't ask for money. I love that aspect of that trust and being taken care of. They don't chant slogans. Interesting. They don't point fingers or name enemies. They simply put one foot in front of the other. They've walked across thousands of miles from highways to crowded towns. These monks are walking in silence. No speeches, no demands, just robes, bowls, breath, and discipline. And beside them is Aloka, the rescued dog. So it's so important just to reiterate this and remember this. They have no opinions, no agenda, just a gentle presence padding forward, reminding people, this is so powerful, what safety feels like again. And it's so true. It's our safety is not by building more industrial war complex and arms and defense and attack. We think it is. Some people think it is. But this is what true safety is exactly what these wonderful beings are teaching us. It's not a protest, not a spectacle. It's not meant to convince anyone. It's their practice. In Buddhism, peace is something you shout for. It's not something you shout for. It's something that we become. We don't argue the world into calm. We embody it until others remember it's possible. So each step is a lesson in slowing down, paying attention. Don't add more harm. Walking itself is the teaching. Breathing becomes the message. Silence becomes the answer. Aloka is teaching us without knowing what he's teaching, because he's just pure love. He's just there being. And animals and dogs, I think those of us that are animal lovers feel that unconditional love. So he's teaching without even knowing that he's teaching us. And people soften when they see him. It's so true. I can remember years ago when in Florida, I used to visit a lot of the nursing homes on a weekly basis and care facilities, and I had a big dog, Crystal, that I'd take with me, and she was a big dog, and she could bite, but when she got into the nursing homes, they loved her. And here's this dog who would attack anyone who came within 3 feet of me if she felt I was threatened. But she would literally jump up on the bed. These people would be attached to tubes and this and that, and she would just lay down and they'd pet her. And the reason I had to start taking her, this is kind of funny but sad at the same time, she was, when I took her, we would always take treats, cookies and this and that, and we'd be in an activity room, and they knew if they held their cookies down that Crystal would come eat it and they'd get to pet her. Well, I'm not kidding. This dog got so fat. Her head was about this big and her body was this big, and I couldn't take her anymore because I couldn't get these people to stop feeding her, and it just wasn't helping the cause for her. But anyway, people are softened when, that's why pet therapy is so beautiful and powerful. I love that. And so people are softening when they see this little dog here. Their shoulders are dropping. Their defenses lower. We smile and they smile before they realize why they're even smiling. The dog doesn't explain peace. He just makes people feel safe. So that's the most powerful part of the journey, because what unsettles us isn't their silence. It's what the silence reveals. We're tired of debating peace, exhausted from demanding it from others, yet unfamiliar with practicing it ourselves. People stop along the road. Some are crying. Some walk a few steps with them. Some just stand quietly, breathing a little easier than before, not because they were told to change the world, but because something within them remembered how, felt how. It's like, oh yeah, it's a journey return to love. This walk isn't about the distance, but rather discipline, about choosing compassion again and again, even when no one is applauding. Peace is not an idea, it's a habit, a picture, a posture of the heart, a step taken gently, especially when the world is loud. They are walking for peace, and Aloka walks with love. And for a moment, the world has slowed down and remembered how to breathe. And sometimes the strongest message is in a quiet step forward. So there you have it. Why are people in love with these people? Because we're feeling the power of their presence and their message. And it's a message of the heart. And, it's obviously every other thing on my Facebook feed is about this. People are being touched by this very deeply. So it's an opportunity, I think, in this world. It seems kind of scary right now. And if we identify with the illusion of it and have to take sides and then our judgments and point fingers, when you listen to this, I'll speak for myself. I would imagine you all as well feel the power of what this whole message is. It's just not guys out for a walk. It's a mission. It's a pilgrimage. It's a demonstration. So what we need to do is maybe be willing to let go of the need to be right and go in our hearts. So Faith, you say, Molly says, Buddhism is a philosophy, not a religion, so it can serve as an extension of one's religion rather than a conversion. Absolutely. Absolutely, Molly. It's not a religion, and that's an important point to make. Buddhism is not a religion. So yes, you can take Buddhism and Buddhist philosophies into Judaism, into Christianity, Islam, doesn't matter. So, it's been I lost what you said, Faith, sorry, but I'm sure it was good. But that being said, I really appreciate y'all tuning in today. I feel this is a hopeful message, and I'm grateful that these men and this beautiful dog took the journey for us and give us time to be transformed and maybe show up a little different in how we show up in the world. So peace and love, everybody. Namaste. Have a great week. And if you feel moved to pass this along and share it, I'd be grateful. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Bye-bye.